Today's topic is kids and depression.
Knock them off with the lights off your face. What the fuck I'm talking about?
Ooh,
Yeah.
he going in right now.
If they choose to do that, but they need to know they're going down the wrong road.
First you tell me you love me, then you hug me, now you wanna hurt me. Never let me be your man, cause I wasn't worthy. Kissing and dancing, touching, we love making. Give me trust, I'm begging, cause no hearts I'm breaking. Taking consideration, you told me that you had it hard. Lay your head on my pillow, I can hear you scar. Never let me be your man, cause I wasn't worthy. Kissing and dancing, touching, we love making. Give me trust, I'm begging, cause no hearts I'm breaking. Taking consideration, you told me that you had it hard. Lay your head on my pillow, I can hear you scars.
Yo. What's going on? It's your main man, Vigalanty, here back at the Stop and Vibe podcast. And today I have my guest back here with me, producer extraordinaire, Larry Love. What's going on, champ?
What's going on, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the house. And
Great.
How's your weekend been going?
Been going good, man. Making it happen.
You know what? I used to always hear that was a little child and I didn't get it until I got older. You know, make it happen.
Making it happen, man.
Just make it happen. You ever have those sayings like we used to hear it so much when we were young and then it don't hit you till like you get older?
Till you get older, yeah.
Makes sense. Like, damn, I'm saying this. And you used to hate to hear it possibly.
Oh, you didn't understand it. I mean, like back in the day when I was a little shorty and you might listen to Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. You didn't know the contents of what they're really talking about as a shorty. And then as you get older, you're like, oh, they talking about a baby mama situation.
For real.
Yeah.
She say I'm the dad.
Yeah. You gonna be dancing, right? Yeah, you're dancing, enjoying the song. As you get older, it makes sense to you.
So I wanted to hitting you up, and today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, is about and it's so weird that you brought this up, and I think it's a topic that needs to be talked about and discussed. But today's topic is kids and depression.
Yes, yeah, very important. Very important. Being in the educational system for over 25 years, retired, and working with kids with disabilities, kids with emotional issues, behavioral disorders,
right,
autistic, dealing with that. That was the kids that I worked with, kids that had issues, juveniles that we might label them, those that have been in and out the system, the court system, and even ordered to be in our facility to get educated. You see a lot of things.
Right. You
see a lot of things. And it's not just happening with those type of kids, even normal kids when we're talking about depression. And when you really look at the age of when kids start to become depressed, they say it starts around middle school, but now they're finding out that it's even happening like a couple of grades even before middle school. Kids are dealing with becoming depressed and having different issues that they're dealing with. And the reason why it's so awesome to talk about it is because really the school or those ages is where things start to happen, when addictions and things that kids are dealing with begin to happen. And one of those main issues that kids are dealing with at an early age is depression.
Well, why do you think it's now like some of these oppositions that parents are facing, kids are facing, is starting to happen now even earlier? Like, what's the cause of it now jumping a couple of years? It's starting earlier now. Why would you think that? Or what do you think is the cause of that?
A lot of it
exposed to too much.
A lot of it, and I'm saying it in love. A lot of it deals with parenting. Most of the problems that kids are dealing with is the stress at home. And because of the home issues and what's happening there, and now things are not being, when we were growing up, you may not even heard your parents argue. You know, they did those things behind closed doors. A lot of things that we dealt with, we experienced it when we got older.
Right.
You know, with drug addictions or different addictions that we're fighting.
Just being around all the peers.
Yeah. Like when we grew up, you know, it was you stayed in your place, you stayed over there, you played over there. But now things are, even in society, things are directed to the kids. And it is now we have issues with, the cartoons are now being situated to get the kids real early on certain topics,
Right.
stuff like that, which now kids that are even dealing with issues at home and they're confused, now they're being bombarded with a lot of stuff.
So that's why I was asking a question about, do you think it's too quick of an exposure? Like we're exposing kids to things that they shouldn't be exposed to so quick.
Yes.
Like the maturity level is
the maturity level is not there. Their mind, even it physically, their mind is not matured enough to deal with those issues, to rationalize what direction they should go. So at an early age, they have to be told so that they can learn, this is the right way to go, this is the wrong way to go. And I heard a preacher say this one time. He said that the difference of our generation and this new generation is that we were born in the palace and we chose to go to the pig slop. But this generation is born in the pig slop.
Damn.
And the king is now telling them, you have a house, you have a castle, you have a mansion you can go to.
Right.
But he's born in the slop, so it feels comfortable. So it's different generations seeing different things. See, when I grew up, I lived in a home where a mother and father were there.
Right.
So, when I got older, I wanted to do my own thing. And I got into those things that I shouldn't have gotten into. But this generation is born into that already. So when somebody comes and say, hey, man, you shouldn't be doing that. What are you telling me? It feels all good to me. It's normal. I wake up like this. I wake up with that on the side. I wake up with this in front of me.
But don't you think, like, this is just me looking at from the other frame of it. Most people say, well, kids have to experience that. Where are we going to get off in the experience and of kids having this experience? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the ideologies that people have. I disagree with it. When I used to counsel youth, one of our leaders, he just felt that it was, you don't have to tell the kids anything. They'll experience it themselves and they'll learn by experience. And my thinking is, if they choose to do that, but they need to know they're going down the wrong road. And I can be that experience for them. You don't have to go down that road. I've been down that road, and I'm coming back with a whole bunch of lumps on my head. You don't have to go down. I don't want you to get the lumps. I don't want you to get the lumps. And but you got people that know you're about to go get the lumps, and they just sit back. And I say, well, what kind of friend am I? If I truly say I love you, and I know you're about to go in this room and get your butt whipped, and I just sit back. And then when you come back, and that happened to me when I was growing up. I remember one time, this was a trip. I was dating this girl, and she was cheating on me. And I kind of sensed something that was something that was funny. And then she left me and she was walking or whatever like that. So kind of walked behind her a little bit, and I saw her get in the dude's car. Right, so I'm over there. It was after school. She went all across the field and got in the dude's car, and I saw her drive off. So I was like, dang, man. So I saw my homeboy. Yeah. And I was sitting there, he's like, Larry, what's wrong with you? I said, man, she over there with somebody. And he said, oh, yeah, I know. I know, it's about a couple of weeks. Wow. I said, well, you didn't tell me. And you know what he said? You look so happy. I never forgot that. I was like, you see me about, you know what's going down.
So that's the same quote that comes from like ignorance and ignorance. Well, shit, he don't know about it. He happy. It's going down. It's still going. I don't want to mess with his happiness. I don't want to mess with his happiness. We'll find out later on. Yeah. So yeah. But because of that experience, if I see you in that type of situation, I'm gonna let you know because I knew how I felt. Right. But some people don't think like that. They're like, hey, Mom, I know what's going on. I know what she's doing. I know what's happening. And that's what's happening with our youth.
they see him going down that road and nobody's holding him, saying, don't go down that road.
Right.
Let him go.
Do you think before you had gotten in the school system and started dealing with kids on this basis for how long you've been in it,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is it what you thought before you got in, and then now what you learned since you have been in?
Oh, that's a deep question. What I thought before, um, that's a very good question. What did I think before? I mean, it's been so long, and I've been dealing with those issues with the kids. I just see it for what it is. So it's not like what I thought before. I mean, before I thought it had to do with just the kid,
Mm.
but now I understand as you deal with the issues and you go to those homes, as I used to do, and go and talk with the parents. A lot of these issues have to deal with what the parents are going through.
Parents,
So the
environment,
the environment,
culture.
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
yes. So if you're asking me what did I think, first when I saw the kid, I'm thinking the kid is the problem, and he might be the problem in the classroom. He might be a problem at the school, but then when you dive a little deeper, you find out that he's dealing with a lot of issues. You might have a kid that's not even dealing with parenting. He's dealing with gang issues.
True.
And people are trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
I know kids that can't even take the bus, a regular school bus, because they might run into the ops.
That remind me of remember that old commercial about the kid who took the long way home?
Yes.
And he would jump the fences.
Yes.
People yards, that just to avoid,
just to avoid.
You know what I'm saying?
And that in itself will cause depression.
Right.
Because now that the bell rings, I'm looking at the time, and I know those guys on the corner will be there at a certain time.
Right.
And I need to get to my place before that. So I need to run and get there before I get messed up in being caught up with those guys.
So with the new epiphany, or I would say in hindsight, I guess through knowing that and knowing that it has to do with culture,
Mm-hmm.
it has to do with environment, and it has to do with parenting.
Yes, very much.
Those three masterful things. I'm guessing that you developed more patience and understanding for what you were dealing with.
Yes, and still learning, learning more about, even in the school system, dealing with kids. Kids want to be cool.
Yeah.
Kids want to be, they don't want to be embarrassed,
Yeah.
So I had to learn, being a man, that sometimes correcting a student,
mm-hmm.
you don't do that in front of everybody.
In front of his peers.
In front of his peers. Because he or she might agree with what I'm saying, but they have to keep face. And you got to give him that space, or her that space, to keep face.
Absolutely.
So they might be bucking just because they don't want to look bad amongst their peers.
Yeah, my pride is involved.
Right. Most of it is that. Yeah. So me as a man dealing with maybe a man, so you got to keep in mind, you might have a kid that is 15 years old. Check this out. He's 14, 15 years old. There's no dad at home.
Right.
He's just with mom and his sister, and they call him the man of the house. He's 14, 15 years old, and he's bigger, taller, stronger than me. 14 years old, 15 years old, coming to school being told he's the man of the house. And he walking around with his boxers on, and he really thinks he's the man of the house.
Absolutely, that's what we
right? Doesn't know the experience of being a man. And
he hasn't been able actually to even see the experience.
Or we have a kid that's 14, 15, 16 years old, and his mom allows his girlfriend to stay in the house with him. And they got a kid. So now the boy, who's 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, has a kid, is acting like a father in the house with his girlfriend in the room. So he's playing house in his mama's house.
And he's the man of the house.
And he's the man of the house. Now he comes to a school environment where he sees an alpha male, telling him to sit down and be quiet and learn the lesson.
Damn.
You understand the conflict that you're dealing with.
I've never seen that until you broke that down like that. Wow.
So now he's looking at me like, who are you?
Yeah.
And he's being disruptive in the classroom,
right,
because he's in a school that, because of his disability, brings him to this situation. And so you're dealing with you're fighting with a lot of elements.
Mm.
You're fighting with how the home structure is set up, and then he's coming into another structure where he has to act a certain way,
right,
and has to be in a student or in a child's place where his home environment or his street environment does not allow him to do that.
right.
On the streets, he's a man.
Of course.
If most of these guys are doing some illegal stuff, or some are not. And so he's doing some things that may not be right, but on the streets, he's carrying that thing, or she's doing these scamming and doing her thing and stuff. And she's doing grown folk stuff. I mean,
because that's the model life that's been modeled to them and taught to them. It's okay or whatever like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's just been taught to them, and that's what's in the neighborhood. You had a video that you wanted me to watch.
Yes.
So you didn't tell me anything about the video.
No, I haven't told you anything.
So we're gonna watch this video, guys. I don't know what it is.
When I saw this video, it was like, yeah, I know. I've been there, done that. You know, I want you to check it out.
So you're not gonna give me no.
No.
You know, no. You heard Larry. Okay. So I'm gonna watch this video. Y'all ready for this? Let's watch this video.
Well, I'd like to see you come up here and do one of these
Shut the
problems.
fuck up talking to me, Mr. Johnson, before I come knock the motherfucking glasses off your face. And that's on my dead grandma head.
Didn't I tell you earlier today? I said,
Shut the fuck up talking to me!
Markel, I said I do not talk to you that way, and I would appreciate it if you did not talk
Shut
to
the
me
fuck
that
up
way.
talking to me!
I do not curse at you. Have I ever cursed at you?
Yes!
I have never cursed at you.
Yes, you.
Ooh,
Yeah.
He going in right now.
Yeah,
He going in.
Whoa.
He's going in. Let's continue. I know all y'all in the comments probably like, oh, he need his ass whooped, blah, 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 blah. I know it. I know it right now. But I want to finish this all the way through.
Wow.
You know that's not true.
I bet I can put up some problems that you won't even know, Mr. Johnson.
You probably could.
Exactly.
Come on, put some problems on the board.
Fuck that.
I tell you.
Yo, this teacher, I love this teacher.
Yeah. He's most likely, this is an elementary school. Looking at that young man, the first one that was cursing, it is probably elementary. I give a standing ovation to any elementary teacher that deals with kids that are like that, because their patience level is just out of this world.
It's incredible.
I dealt with middle school and high school kids.
That's
Right. And middle school is where, the puberty starts, the adolescent part of the kid, where they start to change.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the behavior that you see at its purest form, that they're just doing it out of emotion, not because of other things. That young boy that you're looking at there, most likely he is. Now you might just see him just for face value, but I would say, and I might be wrong, and I am the parents of this child. Please forgive me. He's probably on medication, and he didn't take his medication. See what I'm saying? And this is another thing that happens.
That was nowhere in my psyche.
See what I'm saying?
Of even thinking.
Right. Most likely, a lot of these kids in the classroom are taking medication, and it keeps their behavior. And that's another issue, should they take it or not. But then you'll see a kid like this young man, and he needs medication.
Right.
He is chemically, like when I was going to school, and I remember elementary, there was one kid that was chemically unbalanced.
Yes.
And he needed medication to calm him down.
Right.
And when he did not have that medication, you saw the difference in
Absolutely.
him and everything. What I'm seeing right here in my experience of working with these type of kids, he's probably on medication but didn't take it. And that's another issue that we as people that work in this field is that the parent doesn't give the school the medication to give them,
Right.
or they didn't give it to them that morning when they came, or they're supposed to give the school the medication, so at a certain time they give it to the student, and the parent doesn't give it to the school. So now you're bringing your kid amped up wild, and this is what you get in the classroom. And now you're with the child for 7, 8 hours, and that's what you're dealing with all day long.
All right, so we got a couple of seconds here to
Okay, go ahead.
finish this.
Fuck you,
Give you
fuck
you,
fuck you.
Let me back this up a little bit. Wait, damn, you started getting
I tell you. Fuck you, give you fuck you.
Oh, that.
Get away from your computer.
Shut the fuck up.
Take the coat off.
That's why you don't know how to do the problem.
Take the coat off.
I don't want to.
Take the
Let's
coat
go.
off.
I don't got.
damn, yo, this is
So as you see the
Heavy.
staff that's there, I commend those men and those women that work with those kids. Their patience level has to be to another level.
and this is in Chi-Town, Chicago.
Yes,
Yeah, murder capital.
yeah. So you don't know, where is he? I remember one time, a student was cursing me out, and I told her, I said, she cursed me out like 4 times. I said, if you curse me out again, you will be suspended. And she cursed me out again, so I sent her home. Right. So the mother called, and she was like, this and that, and what's going on? I said, well, your child called me a D-head.
Yeah.
She called me a D-head 4 times.
Right.
I said, if you call me again, I'm going to give you as many days as you call me a D-head. So she cussed me out, so I gave her 5-day suspension.
Right.
Mother called me, talking about parenting. Mother called me. Why are you suspending my child for 5 days? I said, well, I explained the situation.
Yeah.
I said, well, your daughter kept calling me a D-head.
Right.
And I said, if you call me a D-head again, I'm going to give you as many days as you call me a D-head. She called me again. I gave her 5 days. The mother responded, well, that's what they all call you. You should get used to that.
Damn.
That was her response to me. This is the mother of that child. So I responded, well, maybe we both all 3 of us need to come in and have a conference and find out where she's getting this from. Oh, she's not getting that from me. You see what I'm saying?
Do you have to approach, knowing that you're dealing with a child like that, when you're calling the parent, are you kind of like buffer yourself for what you're about to deal with on the next line?
Yes.
No, knowing the type of attitude that child has.
That the child
that
has.
if they're doing that with me, they got to be doing that with the parents.
Yes. When you get a child that is being physical with somebody like me that's 6 foot and around 215, 220, and you got somebody that's a kid that's physical with me,
right?
Then I know he's going to be physical with women.
Very true.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm telling the mother, if he was bold enough to try to hit me, he is going to turn around and hit you, mother, or hit his sister, hit his auntie.
Yeah.
He's going to hit a girl, and it always goes down that way.
Right.
So if we don't nip this in the bud now, and you accept what he did to me,
right? Because
she'll come in and she will be defensive for her child and think that I instigated the situation and I did the kid wrong. You understand?
Why do parents after the story is told, why do some parents not kind of like say, well, damn, if she did that and said that, she deserved that? Like what is the defensive mechanism for those parents? And then I want you to get into where does the depression in kids come in at? Okay.
As far as what do you mean by the dealing with the parents? What do you mean?
Meaning like some parents can't call a spade a spade. Your kid rude as hell. No,
they're in denial. And then a lot of times, and I mean that's just what it is. It's denial. To really, I mean, my last years that I got into that I was in the school system, I was dealing with a young man, 2 young men that that both of their mothers were not realistic about their kids
Right.
the way they were. And the courts had ordered both of those kids to be home at a certain time. And they just blamed, the school system for and what we did. And those two young men, and it was on the news, they jumped the fence of a used car lot, killed an elderly security guard man. To my understanding, they stabbed him, they beat him with a rock, and you got his gun and killed him. And then they took kids, 14 and 15 years old.
Oh my God.
14 and 15 years old. Now, before all this happened, that one of those young men was physical with me.
So you knew these men?
I knew both of those young boys.
Wow.
All right. So one of them was physical with me. The other kid was always a problem. Both of them were always a problem. They used to jump the fence of the school during lunchtime, break into people's home and come back with jury on and all this kinds of stuff. So we knew what they were doing, and then there were problems at the school. And then we would bring these mothers in, and we would tell them we were the problem. We were the problem. But now those kids, to my understanding now, are serving, life sentences. They were tried as men, and stuff like that. So it's denial of what the kid is, and they don't know my kid is just so perfect. Now he's been, and what mystifies me with this is your child has gone from school to school to school to school with this behavior problem.
Right.
He's been in 3 to 4 schools. Now he comes to my school and he's a behavior problem, but all of a sudden I'm the problem. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
When smarts would say, my smarts would say, if I got to take you to another school, just one,
Yeah, exactly.
or we got to leave this school, you're the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the problem. That's how my parents, brought me up. If I got to get you out of this school, when I brought you to the school to be quiet and learn in the classroom, and you now have to be expelled and go to another school, and now you're expelled from this school and got to go to another school, and then your child, you didn't know your child curses all the time.
Yeah.
You didn't know your child fights.
So where does the depression come in at? Where do we
Because the child is fighting so much. The child is fighting, like we were talking about, the home life, to be accepted. The kid wants to get an education or wants to learn, but he has a disability, and some of this is caused because they have a disability and they don't know how to read when we're asking them to read. They don't know how to do the math problems. So instead of being calm and saying, "Teacher, I don't know how to do the math problem. Can you help me and teach me?" It acts out like that.
Sometimes I think most of the time people think, and feel free to comment, guys.
Mm-hmm.
People think that depression is mostly always you're just down.
No.
I really thought about that. So when you say kids in depression, I thought about a kid being, I'm all alone, I'm depressed, and obviously that's not always the case.
That's an excellent point that you brought up, because I was looking at the definition of depression, and I just want to read this, and it's going to trickle down to what we've been seeing in the news lately.
Okay.
It says a group of conditions associated with the elevation or lowering of a person's mood. The elevation or the lowering of a person's mood. So, God bless the dead, the young man that killed himself on the Ellen show, the host, Twitch.
Yeah.
Dancing, having a great time,
making money,
looking like he had, and then he kills himself.
Yeah.
You didn't see the acts of depression that we think when we think of the word depression. What was the actor that played
Robin Williams?
Robin Williams, and the other actor that was a comedian that killed himself. You see these guys laughing and joking, and thank God. What was the guy named? Was it D-Ray or Cole? I can't think of the actor that.
Deon Cole.
Deon Cole. They went on his special when he said, man, my mom died.
Yes.
And I've been going through
Wow.
it. I've been going through it. But this was a man that was entertaining us for a whole hour special.
He got so serious at the end. And you didn't like, and he said, I know some of y'all out there, y'all don't lost y'all mama, y'all don't lost y'all daddy. He said, man, we go through
we going through it. And you would never
it.
know it by seeing that man up there. You think he's just having, you know, the life that we all want to have or whatever.
Just because he's on the big stage
and he's making us laugh and everything.
Absolutely.
And this man, when the curtain closed, he's depressed over what's going on with his mom. So don't trust the elevation. Matter of fact, that's a cue when you're seeing somebody too happy. It's like a relationship. You know, it's like when you see a couple too happy and they look like they got it together.
It's too synthetic.
It's too synthetic. Yeah. A person that's been in they're always on each other. They're kissing and they're loving each other. Oh, baby, you're good. And they're looking into each other's eyes all the time. You know, you be looking at them and you want to be jealous for a second because you're like, dang, that's what I want.
Right.
But really, like I remember I told a woman, I said, listen, what you're seeing is them holding on to each other like they are. They're holding it together.
True.
That's what the holding is.
Yeah.
See, when I can be away from you and we're secure, that's a good thing. But if I got to hold you and I can't go nowhere, I can't leave the house, I can't do this, you can't do that, because where you going? What's going on?
That what you get into what word I'm looking for. Codependency.
Codependency. That's a very good word. And it is the elevate. Be careful of elevation. Looking like you got to go together. Looking like you're always on a high. And you're high, you're always happy. Because it's like getting high. When the high is up, what happens when the high leaves?
Everything goes down. And you can't stand there for long. Everything
comes in moderation. Everything wants to be leveled off. But when you're spiked up, and that's the thing that even when you deal, going back to our students, when you see those type of behaviors, you have to allow it to spike for it then to start to come down. You know, sometimes the kids.
So when that happens, are you preparing for the catch?
Yes, you have to. You have to. You can't take it personal. What I love about that video and those professionals that were working with those kids, the staff, is that they were calm. They were level-headed. They were level-headed. You know, the guy walked in, the other staff member, he walked in. He wasn't like, oh my God, what's going on? Yeah. He was like, all right, let's go. Let's go, you know, and that's what I used to do too. You know, I used to go in the classroom and the teacher needed help or whatever. I used to come in there, hey man, let's go. Come on, let's go. No, but all right, yeah, come on. And you just receive them and talk to them and everything.
So, Producer Larry Love, I want you to, what's your last thoughts on kids and depression? And if parents are out there, what signs to look for, and what's your last?
Kids are born like a white piece of paper.
Right.
Pure. And let's try to keep that paper as white and clean as possible. Let's make our home a place where kids can be welcomed in it and to have positive memories. Whatever's written on that piece of paper, let it be positive. How do you speak to your kids? Do you encourage your kids? Do you tell your kids you love them? Do you hug your kids? And this might be something where it might be foreign to you to do, to hug your kids, to tell them that you love them, that you care about them. But kids need to hear that. They need to feel that before they even go to school. And then another thing, they need to be fed. So a lot of these kids are coming to school and they're not being fed. They're coming to school and they're angry because they didn't eat. And we'll talk about other things down the line about sleep. What's the word? Deprivation. Yes. Kids are not sleeping. They're staying up all times of night, all the way into the morning. And because this kid has an environment, whatever it is, staying on the phone too much or on the television or just being out in the streets because they don't want to come home because of the home environment. So let's make our home a place of love, a place of understanding, a place of protection, a place where a kid can go to and rest. Home should be a place of rest, not a place where you get uptight and don't want to be there. You know, we have to discipline our kids, but every time we do that, let's do it in love so that our kids won't be depressed. They'll have positive mind. They'll be calm in situations. And when they need help, they'll call for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just wanted to add that it's very important to, like you said, what are we saying to our kids?
Mhm.
There's a scripture that says, in the tongue,
Yes.
there's life
Yes.
and there's death.
Yeah.
Nothing in between. There's only life and there's only death.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you speaking into your kids?
Right.
Are you
That's right.
speaking life? Boy, you could do it, girl. You could do it. That's all right. You got a D this time. Let's try to get that C. Or man, I believe you can
Right.
get that B.
That's
It's
right.
all about the. It's
That's
all.
right.
I always say
Yes.
it's all about the delivery.
Yes, it is. It is.
It's all about the delivery
Yes,
because
it is.
kids are they're so vulnerable to the point they just want somebody to believe in them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after a while of telling them positive affirmation and saying you can do it, they develop that culture,
They do.
they develop that mindset. But if that's not being told,
Yes.
I don't care if you don't have nothing.
Right.
I've been in a position where where
Yeah.
bills didn't get paid. We didn't have
Yes.
food in the fridge.
Yes.
And I want to say that because I know parents might say, well, I don't have the money. I don't have
Right.
this. But
Yes.
you have the mouth.
You have the mouth.
You have the mouth. And what are you speaking out of your mouth?
Love is free.
It is.
Yes.
It is. I remember
Yes.
when we didn't have money and my mom would come home, she would throw the
Yes.
bill on the table and say, God, I got another bill for you to take. I got
That's
another
awesome
bill for
thing.
you.
That's awesome.
And she
You
just
threw it to
never,
the right one.
but she never let us see her struggle.
Mhm.
I didn't know that until hindsight that my mother was struggling.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But now I understood why she said what she said and she did how she
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So, yo, Larry, producer Larry Love, man, we always have awesome conversation,
Awesome,
man. And I appreciate you, brother, for coming through.
Definitely.
If y'all need to go find producer Larry Love, please tell them where they can find you.
Instagram, producer Larry Love. You can hit me up there and I'll reach out back to you. Much love.
Absolutely, he does talk. But yo, I'm Vigalanty. Thank you for stopping by the Stop and Vibe podcast. Thank you for stopping. I hope the stop was worth the vibe. Until next time, be good because you're good at it. Take on the world because you can. And peace, love, and God bless. Until the next time. Stop and vibe.